For Global Business Update, Rutus Odiri joins us now. Good morning, Rutus.
Good morning, Doctor. Good morning, Ayo. Good morning, Rufai. Good morning to all our viewers. We begin, of course, with what to look forward to this week. Lots on the global front. You've got Eurozone GDP that's going to be coming up, I think, in about another hour or so. You've also got the Reserve Bank of Australia's rate decision that's going to be coming up as well. Then you've got the Bank of England. They're going to be making a rate decision, I believe, tomorrow.
On August 3.
August 3, that's correct. Then after that, we've also got Apple and Amazon. Should have this chart up. I'm going off memory now. Apple and Amazon on Thursday, they'll be reporting their earnings. And then on Friday, Thursday, we also got some data coming from the US as well. And then on Friday, we've got jobs data as well. So there's a whole lot to expect as far as what to watch for. So there we go. So did I get it all? I think I did. So Eurozone GDP today. Yeah, our Reserve Bank of Australia decision tomorrow. Some raft of US data tomorrow. Then Bank of England, yes, Apple, Amazon, lots of earnings coming out. And then Friday, non-farm payrolls. Oil prices, again, always telling our fellow Nigerians to take notes of oil prices with respect to them touching a high not seen since early 2022. Brent crude now 84.57. That was earlier in the morning. Of course, it trades up and down as we speak. WTI, West Texas Intermediate, has now touched $80 a barrel. Goldman Sachs says they see oil touching $86 a barrel by December. Tighter supplies, they expect Saudi Arabia to keep up their, maintain their oil price cuts, which is going to feed into supplies, depressing supplies and also pushing up prices. And then we're also going to see, they're also seeing a demand for the second half of the year. So what that means, of course, as oil prices continue to climb, you should expect to pay more at the pump with respect to our deregulated downstream sector. China. Asian stocks, rather, they did climb this morning despite weak manufacturing data coming out of China. But I think there's going to be, in fact, it may have already started. There should be a press conference in China with respect to stimulus measures that they're going to be putting forward. So that's supporting Asian stocks across the board. The MSCI Regional Asia Pacific Index, I think, up about 1%. Hong Kong, Korea, everyone else, it looks to be up as well. So to China now, the data, fourth month in a row that you're seeing manufacturing data weak. That's the Purchasing Managers Index, PMI data, coming in, I think, about 49.3. Yeah, so if you're below 50, you're in contraction territory. If you're at 50 or above 50, you're in expansion territory. This is just basically surveys taken for the manufacturing sector. The forecast was for 49.2, so it was just a smidgen above the forecast. It was 49 points in June. Non-manufacturing looks at construction, agriculture and stuff. That also above the threshold of 50, but it did slow down. So 51.5 in July from 53.2 in June. The forecast was for 53, so coming in weaker. So normally this would push markets down, but because of the promise of stimulus, they're looking at perhaps the markets are optimistic that we'll actually get bite following bark from the People's Bank of China. To Africa, the Economist Intelligence Unit is this is very interesting. They're forecasting 1,000 naira by 2027. Not sure why they went that far out. If you look at where the forecasts are for where the naira has been trading on the INE window. So if you look at their forecast, they're saying 815 to the dollar average rates for 2014 and for 2027, 1,000. I mean, we're already at 860, 870 on the parallel market. Interesting quote, though, from their report. This is part of their outlook. So they say if you look at what's highlighted on the exchange rate, they said the new exchange rate is classed by the CBN as a managed float, but there are inconsistencies in application to a more liberal currency regime, as foreign exchange access restrictions still apply to an array of imports. This will unnerve foreign investors, and a backlog of foreign exchange orders the CBN failed to clear before the opening up of the market, and deeply negative real rates. That means rates have to go up. But it's very interesting. Last week, we understand from one of the asset management houses that one of the oil majors tried to sell dollars into, I believe, to banks or so, and the CBN said, no, you have to sell it to us, which suggests that this managed float, where we are now, is not actually where the rates, is not really reflective of a liberal exchange rate. So because the bids we've been seeing, I think Thursday and Friday were about over 800, and yet we still settled at 775. So if this table is the window, the CBN says this is a willing buyer, willing seller market. So if I come with $1 and Rufai bids 775, Ayo bids 800, Doctor bids 850. Why would I sell it to Rufai at 775? I'm going to sell it to Doctor at 850, but it looks like they're still trying to keep that range managed. So again, economics is a study of choices and consequences of choices that you make and you don't make. So essentially what I'm saying is that the rates is likely to be repriced even higher, but of course there's going to be ramifications on the economy, which is probably why the CBN is still trying to keep a lid on things. As far as corporate earnings, we're still seeing, we talked about Airtel last week, Unilever, Guinness and Nigerian breweries as far as FX losses. So it continues, we still saw more earnings. Nestle Nigeria, 123 billion in, these are paper losses, which means is that you're just repricing your liabilities and assets in dollars. But 123 billion.
Paper losses?
So it's basically what it means is that you didn't, like, what you hold on your books is now revalued. So it's the revaluation of those dollars.
For the losses?
No, it will still account for this is the company, but basically the dollar. So if you had $1 in your account and it was at 450.
Why are you laughing?
I'm not laughing. I want to say if it was at 450 as the initial rates and it's now 750, you're repricing upwards for your assets. But if you have a loan or if you have other liabilities,
but there's a loss.
Yes, of course.
Liability.
So yeah, of course. So in addition to Nestle, we also saw MTN's half-year earnings, or rather losses. That was 131 billion. As far as forex losses, Dangote Cement was 103 billion. So it just continues with a number of sectors impacted. Although some better news. Transcorp released their half-year earnings. Pre-tax profits was up about 39%. Impressive revenues, 82 billion. 31% growth there, operating income 46% growth. You can see they always look at this operating income and your operating expenses. So your operating income is 29 billion, your expenses are 15, 46% growth there, 40% growth in your expenses. And I always like to dig into this. Dangote, for instance, spent about, I think it was about 70, was it 17 or 18 billion on power. All these companies, I want to dig further in and look at how much they've spent on power in particular. I mean, their operating expenses, quite a lot. Pre-tax profit up 39% to 18.5. So, and then look, the ministerial screenings are beginning. Look, these portfolios are incredibly, I don't know who is going to get what, but the Minister of Trade and Investment, whoever gets that, Minister of Power, Education. Nigeria has so many structural issues that need to be addressed and it won't be fixed overnight. So we just hope that whoever gets those appointments starts to work.
Couple of things. Couple of days ago, I said here on this table that when we are done with our experiments, they will boomerang in our faces.
It's not an experiment.
Hang on, let me finish.
Yes, please, go ahead, Rotus. Go ahead.
I'm happy that the ERU are seeing it, but I'm not going to claim triumphalism now. It is finally when we are done, then I will not remind that I said so. There's something called economic history. We did this in '86. Economic history matters a great deal. Let me extend my economic history. England tried it with ERM that backfired, that led to Black Wednesday. And when that happened, Britain learned from it.
Oh boy.
In 1998, when the Eurozone was about to start their unified currency, and they brought the proposal to England, Tony Blair had attended the meeting. He was game. But thank God there was a man that had a PhD in a PhD in history, called Gordon Brown, who was the Chancellor of the Exchequer. And he said, no, we have learned from what happened in 1992. We will not do it. And that's to today, till England left the EU. That was why England didn't spend the euro. Because Gordon Brown kicked against it, because he learned from economic history of what happened in 1992. On this regard, I'll rest my case again, and I would say, probably, many years down the line, we will learn. That's my case.
Sorry, Ayo, 1 second. So Rufai, there's this thing you do where you speak in these general terms, and I don't really quite understand the point you're trying to make.
Wait.
Are you saying that we should not do a managed float? Are you saying we should float the naira, or are you saying we should go back to a fixed exchange rate where it's at 450? Just state it in clear terms, because I'm not sure what triumphant thing you're trying to claim here. What exactly are you trying to say? Just say it out.
Let's make progress.
All right, go ahead, Doctor, because
for this segment,
absolute terms are confusing everybody.
Okay, so very quick comment with regards to China.
Yeah.
There's the post-COVID reality of China is not looking positive at all. You know, despite the stimulus that has been pumped into the economy, the property sector is still suffering, the construction sector is still suffering, and now they're saying that private investors are reluctant to pump money into that sector. So what is the way forward in terms of services? You know, if they've pumped and nothing is happening to stimulate the economy, negative growth, what's the way out for them?
They haven't put any stimulus. The way out is stimulus. You've got to essentially put money into the economy, add liquidity
but they
into
keep
the
announcing that
but they haven't done it yet. So today at this press conference, which I think has already started, will start soon, they will announce how much they're going to pump in.
But in any case, they've already given excuse. The National Bureau of Statistics in China says, oh, the slowing down of non-manufacturing PMI is as a result of extreme weather. You know, whether that is a justification or not remains to be seen.
Yeah.
But what is established is that, you know, the recovery process is very slow. But why China is slowing down and the economy is suffering contractions, India is doing very well. And we're told that in terms of demand for commodities, you know, India will fill the gap, and India is on its way to becoming the third largest economy, you know, by the end of the decade. And the question will be, are there lessons we can learn from India? But let's come to Nigeria very quickly.
Yeah.
What I take from the EIU report is what we've been saying repeatedly on this program about inconsistencies in policy formulation and policy implementation. Some of those issues, the EIU was simply saying, look, the harmonization, we didn't think through it well enough. And they're also saying that the CBN today, as it is, lacks capacity to manage it. And that, you know, they are very confident about the predictions that they are making, that with this depreciation of the naira, with the crisis of the fuel subsidy, with, you know, people reacting, social tension. We have seen it in Adamawa. We have seen reactions in Taraba, Jalingo, the capital. So things are likely to get worse. So what do? They say there is still a window for arbitrage of 100 naira.
Yes.
So despite the harmonization, some people are still, you know, making money. But what is now interesting is your point about those companies.
Yeah.
The last time we tried this, I think it was even under Shagari, when, you know, we moved from 4 naira to the dollar to 9 naira. Many companies shut down. All those companies that used to manufacture things in this place, they closed shop because the foreign exchange regime could not make business possible. I hope we will not have a similar situation this time around. The third point is another leg of the story, that President Tinubu has now appointed a special investigator, Obazi, who used to be head of the Financial Reporting Council of Nigeria. The two questions arise here. In a similar case in 2014, Sanusi Lamido Sanusi, CBN governor as he then was, took this same FR council to court. And the court ruled that the Financial Reporting Council cannot investigate the central bank, since the central bank does not report to it. Okay, Quorum Justice John Soho at the Federal High Court, Lagos, at that time. Are we going to face a similar situation now? And can a private individual investigate an independent public corporation? Is there a legal basis for asking Obaze, who is a private individual, to come and investigate the CBN?
Yeah.
But in any case, you know, he's been there before.
Yep.
He has had that experience before. So is this the probe of the CBN under Emefiele that they've been talking about? So many questions.
Many.
With regard to
Limited time. Thank you, Doctor.
Thank you so much.